Come on in, pull up a chair, and take a load off because today I'll be taking a first look and paging through Dungeons and Dragons Fizban's Treasury of Dragons from Wizards of the Coast. And we'll take flight right after this. Howdy, 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 gang. Welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host here at the Gaming Gang channel. As I mentioned in the open, today I'll be taking a first look at Dungeons & Dragons Fizban's Treasury of Dragons in just a couple of minutes. But first, there are two things that I do want to discuss with you. First off, if you would like to win this copy of Fizban's Treasury of Dragons. That's right. This is the alternate art edition. Stay tuned because I'll tell you how to get into the running and it won't be too difficult to win. Second, we are in the midst of the Gaming Gang October Spooktacular 2021. And what that means is each and every day over at thegaminggang.com, you're going to find a brand new tabletop gaming related video. Of course, that means it's also here on the YouTube channel also, but it's going to be either a first look video, such as today's video, or maybe it's a review. Or if it's Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, it will be my live stream, the Gaming Gang Dispatch, where I bring you the latest in tabletop gaming news and first looks at tabletop games. And that is at 7 p.m. Central when I stream. Each evening at 9 p.m. Central, join me as I host a spooky old-time radio show, which is destined to put a chill down your spine. All right, with that said, today I'm taking a first look at Dungeons & Dragons, Fizban's Treasury of Dragons. It is from Wizards of the Coast. This book clocks in at 224 pages. It is a hardcover. It's going to carry an MSRP of $49.95 when it arrives in stores on October 26th. The alternate art edition is available only through friendly local game stores. So let's swing on over to the other camera because here I have Fizban's Treasury of Dragons. Two things before we dive in. First off, the fine folks over at Wizards of the Coast were kind enough to provide me with this review copy. But neither I nor anyone else affiliated with the Gaming Gang has received any sort of compensation outside of the review copy from either Wizards of the Coast or anyone representing Wizards of the Coast. It's important that you know that. Also, I am going to be staying picture in picture up here as we take a page through. I will actually be cutting off the upper left corner of the book. We are not going to take a peek at each and every page. But I do want to give you a good feel for what you're going to find within the Treasury of Dragons. All right, I have not taken a peek at this. I have not even taken a look at the back of this book. So now I'm on the spot because I'm going to have to read this flavor text cold. So let's see how it goes. Straight from the dragon's mouth. Meet Fizban the Fabulous, doddering archmage, unlikely hero of the War of the Lance, divine avatar of a dragon god, and your guide to the mysteries of dragonkind and the worlds of Dungeons & Dragons. In these pages, Fizban reveals the truth of the first world and introduces the family of gem dragons, amethyst, crystal, emerald, sapphire, and topaz. Players will find a treasure trove of dragon-themed character options, dragonborn with ties to specific draconic ancestries, subclasses for dragon-themed monks and rangers, supernatural gifts for those who claim the power of a dying dragon, and more. Dungeon Masters can enjoy a rich hoard of material designed to help bring dragons to life in dragon-themed encounters, adventures, and campaigns. The gems within range from guidance on creating unique and memorable draconic characters to maps for dragon layers, treasures for a dragon's hoard, and monsters to populate your adventures. Learn everything there is to know about the most iconic monsters of D&D through Fizban's expert advice. And of course, you do need the Dungeons and Dragons Player's Handbook, Dungeon Master's Guide, and Monster Manual in order to utilize this book. All right, let's dive on in. There are a slew of people, I assume, and I assume correctly. So we have a bunch of designers. The lead designer is James Wyatt, but we've got quite a few designers here, design credits. We've got a lot of illustrators as well. And if I sat here reading them, we'd be sitting here for 5 minutes as I go through mispronouncing just about everybody's name. Let's see what we've got here. So we have Elegy for the First World. So it looks like we've got like a bit of like poetry almost, or lyrics. So that is Fizban right there, a Treasury of Dragons. So it says Chapter 1 introduces draconic-themed options for adventurers. Chapter 2 discusses magic related to dragons. Chapter 3 provides tips, advice, and tables to help dungeon masters build encounters, adventures, and whole campaigns around dragons. Chapter 4 discusses dragon lairs and hordes. Chapter 5 provides extensive resources related to each of the 20 different draconic creatures. And Chapter 6 includes stat blocks and lore for a variety of new dragons and dragon-oriented creatures. Cool deal. All right, so discussion of the first world. I'll be the first to point out, I know almost nothing about Dragonlance. I had moved on from Advanced Dungeons and Dragons by the time Dragonlance started to hit. I do know a lot of people loved the novels, the long series of novels as far as Dragonlance. I know there are a lot of people who are really hoping to see Wizards of the Coast reintroduce that setting as well to Dungeons and Dragons. I believe that's on the horizon. There has been some work going on with Tracy Hickman and Margaret Weiss. So we might see something. I know we've got some new books on the way. All right, jumping on through. So the first section here is character creation. So we've got some new draconic races. We've got subclass options, heroes of the dragon, and draconic feats. Some pretty cool artwork there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip about every 4 to 6 pages. So you are going to get to see quite a bit of the book, but you're not going to see all of the book. So we've got some different Dragonborn. We've got the subclasses. So we've got some subclasses, I believe, for the monk and for the ranger. So those two. We've got chapter 2 is dragon magic. So we got spells, magic items, horde items, and draconic gifts, which introduces magical gifts that characters might gain in connection with a dragon's death or other unusual circumstances. So we've got some new spells. So what do we got here? 2, 4, 6, 7. Looks like we've got 7 new spells from 2nd to 7th level. So we've got that. So we've got some magic items as well. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like we've got any illustrations of the magic items. Now, unfortunately, we do not. But then again, we've got a scarf, we've got a buckler, we have a gem. So I guess it's pretty easy to understand what those are. You could visualize those pretty easily. So we've got some magic items as far as in a dragon's horde. A dragon's blood can be as powerful as it is toxic. There we go. Aha! Now we've got dragons in play. So this is going to break down into role-playing dragons, followers. So it explores the relationships between dragons and the various creatures that might serve their interests, such as kobolds, dragon encounters, dragon adventures, and dragon campaigns. So we've got some information about role-playing dragons, which I personally think is very important because normally I think a lot of dungeon masters kind of try to role-play dragons by channeling Smaug from The Hobbit, which isn't necessarily always should be the case, I guess we'll say. we've got some dragon name elements. We've got some random tables there. Lifespan. Looks like there's a wormling right there. Half dragons. Gods and religion. So, of course, Bahamut, I think that's how it's pronounced, is obviously enough a draconic god and a deity. So we've got some adventure hooks for various different. So we've got the chamber, we've got Cult of the Dragon, hide carved dragons. So it looks like we've got some adventure hooks on a variety of locales on different planes as well. So here we've got some information. This must be the followers, because we're seeing companion, crime boss, emperor, noble, parental figure, patron, teacher, warlord. And we get dragon adventures. The dragon is a monster. Dragon campaigns. So the world of Kreen, which is the home of Dragonlance, that I at least knew. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I know it. So we have campaign events, dragon factions as well. So now we are into layers and hordes. So we've got regional effects, layer actions, horde quirks. So some random tables for that. Competition for a horde. There you go. Get some faction play in there. I love faction play. Whenever I would run like dungeon delves, and even now, because I do run some fantasy role-playing adventures for the gang. If there's a dungeon delve, you can be guaranteed that the player characters are not going to be the only ones exploring that dungeon. Every once in a while, I don't do it because then the players are surprised. Like, what? Nobody else is down here? Well, sure, there's other stuff down there. Just not another adventuring group. That's all. Okay, so now we're going to get into the different dragons. So this is Chapter 5. It's the Draconomicon. It's kind of cool. See what kind of artwork we got. There we go. So that is Fizban addressing a council of metallic dragons on a matter of crucial importance, probably unrelated to baked goods. I have no idea why that's brought up, but who knows? So we've got the various different dragons. So talking about how to use the entries. So we've got Amethyst Dragon. There's one of the layer maps. I will say that I'm a little surprised that we've got, it's not unusual that we have player-facing and Dungeon Master-facing information in a single supplement. That's not unusual. What is kind of unusual that we've got these maps, these game maps, these example layers that I'm sure many Dungeon Masters would be utilizing, but that also means the players have access to it as well. So we've got blue dragons, talking about blue dragon layers, brass dragons. So one thing that's pretty interesting that I can see so far is we're not just getting an introduction to these new gem dragons. The established chromatic dragons are being discussed. We're getting a deeper dive into those as well. You got bronze dragons, copper dragons, crystal dragons. Looks as if we're getting 4 pages devoted to each. So we've got 1, 2. There's the layer. Yeah, 4 pages. It appears. So we've got deep dragons. There's a dragon turtle. Yep, dragon turtles. I really do dig the artwork that we're seeing so far. Emerald dragons. Fairy dragons. Gold dragons. I didn't even have to look. As soon as I saw that image, I'm like, yeah, there's gold dragons for us. Gold Dragon Lair. Green Dragons. Everybody's all-time favorites, the Red Dragon. As well as the lair there. Sapphire Dragon. Silver Dragons. We had Shadow Dragon. I just went past that. Topaz Dragons. White Dragons. And now we'll get into a bestiary, which is going to give us some stat blocks. And then I believe we've got some new monsters as well. So I'm not going to take a look at each and every page, but there we go. Bahamut. Like I said, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. So Chromatic Great Worm, Crystal Dragons, Deep Dragons, Draconians. That's pretty cool. A Draco Hydra. Dragon Blood Ooze and a Dragon Bone Golem. That's kind of interesting too. Dragon Flesh Grafters. So we've got some different dragon flesh creatures. There's our Dragon Turtles. Dragano. Elder Brain Dragon. So there is a lot, because remember, I'm skipping through pages here. So I'm skipping about 6 pages at a time. So this bestiary is pretty detailed. We've got quite a bit in here. We might look at the table of contents. I jump back to the table of contents to see just how many creatures are included in this bestiary. So now it looks like we've got some creatures that would be found in a dragon's horde. So we got horde scabbards. Yeah, which swords come in? Horde scarabs. Horde mimic. Metallic sentinels, moonstone dragons. There's a sapphire dragons as well. There's our topaz dragons. And this is going to be pretty much it. We got a creature list. It doesn't look, no, we don't have an index. Yeah, that's kind of surprising. Although, there was a recent D&D book that did not have an index. But our table of contents is pretty detailed here. So, just kind of give you an idea. I'm not going to count up every one, because that's kind of silly, make you sit through that. But the bestiary runs from here all the way to here. So there is a lot cooking. It starts on page 159 and runs to 223, because then the final page is a creature list. All right, that is Fizban's Treasury of Dragons from Wizards of the Coast. Of course, it is for Dungeons and Dragons. This hardcover does clock in at 224 pages, and it's going to carry an MSRP of $49.95 when it arrives in stores on October 26th. So, want to point out, if you would like to win this copy of the alternate art edition, and this has a much different feel to the cover, as you can see, a little more luxurious, in my opinion. Doesn't have that same sheen that the standard books have. I notice usually with the alternate art covers, they don't have that sheen that the standard editions do. So that artwork is very cool with it looks like a gold dragon and a red dragon. Oh, and there's actually no text on the back. That's cool as well. All right. So if you'd like to win this copy right here, all you have to do is 3 things. First, you have to like this video. So I'll talk about that when we're wrapping up. 2, you have to be a subscriber to the channel. And 3, you have to leave a comment on this video. And what I would like to know is, what is your all-time favorite Dungeons and Dragons dragon and why. Or maybe it's one of the brand new dragons that's on the horizon. Why are you excited for that? So, pretty easy peasy. And what I will do is I will choose a winner and announce that winner during my review of Fizban's Treasury of Dragons. So expect to see that probably around the 23rd. So I always like to try to get my reviews out there a few days before it hits stores as opposed to the day it hits stores. All right, let's swing on over to the other camera and I will wrap up. I'm looking forward to diving into this. This looks pretty interesting. I like it. I'm kind of a bestiary fan anyway, and a good portion of this book is devoted to the bestiary. All right, that is it for this time out. If you like this video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already, and if you do subscribe, ding that bell. It'll not only let you know when I upload videos such as this first look, it'll also let you know when my live stream, the Gaming Gang Dispatch, airs Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday evenings right here on YouTube at 7 p.m. Central. Of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Once again, I'm Jeff McAleer. Thank you so much for taking time out to watch the video. And until I see you next time, here's hoping each and every one of you gets to enjoy plenty of great gaming with your own gang. Oh, you're still here. Well, while you're kicking it, how about subscribing to the Gaming Gang channel? Or seeing the latest episode of the Gaming Gang Dispatch? Or finding out what YouTube recommends you check out here at my channel? And of course, don't forget, get your geek on at thegaminggang.com.